You are listening to a bonus episode of the BTS Surviving Maine Season 4 podcast. Hello. With me, as always, production manager from Surviving Maine Season 4. It's George. How are you, George?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
Oh, are we Cockney now? Or I'm all
It's
right, mate. No, that's Australian. Wait.
the moment passed. We're back to
Okay, good.
we have a special guest.
Who could it be? The lovely, the beautiful, the gorgeous, the winner of Survivor, Angelica, and sadly voted out, betrayed by the one who was betrayed. It's Sandra, the mob boss. How are you, Sandra?
I know. When I heard you guys say that, I'm like, oh, I'm a mob boss. I love it.
Did you feel that power when you were out there at that time? At certain times, did you feel mob bossy?
No, and that's the funny thing, because like in your podcast with Will, like, you guys were, I think it was you. Someone said like I was a little cocky. I might have been a little cocky knowing like, because I was in such a good position. But here's the thing, like, it wasn't cockiness. It was definitely, I felt comfortable, which is like the kiss of death. And maybe that is a little cocky, but like, I honestly had no faith that like I'd go far, that I really had any control. And it was honestly Adam. And like, I got blamed for everything, but like Adam was the one calling the shots.
Yeah. I think that maybe it was a mistake that you made with Seth. I mean, you couldn't do it because Adam was right there when you were talking to Seth about like, the boat last night. But if you had had a moment alone with Seth, you could have said like, hey, this was Adam's idea. I'm so sorry. Maybe that would have helped. And then he would have gone after Adam instead.
Yeah, I know. And what's funny is I think we underestimated Seth, because
yes,
I think that was also in the last podcast. Like, he never really talked strategy. He was just so quiet, and so I kind of never even questioned whether he would flip. I was like, oh yeah, he'll come along with us, because like he's never played, and I really didn't think he'd make a move, or like even, I don't know. I just really trusted, and I really loved Seth. Like I wasn't going against him, because Amelia and somebody, it might have been TJ, but I wasn't going to work with TJ anyways. But like they were throwing Seth's name out.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, no, I would never vote Seth. Like I was so loyal to Seth, and then it was like stab.
Mm-hmm.
Sandra, before we get into the meat of this game, I just want to give you your flowers for a second. I've been watching you from this game. I didn't know what you did in your first game. I didn't know that it was a survival challenge or something.
Outlast was my first.
Outlast. I didn't watch that one, but I was introduced to you here, and ever since you have gone on to like legend status in this community. You were on Angelica, watching you on Angelica. That was you and Jared together. That was magic. You guys were incredible. That was so entertaining.
Yeah.
But so I just wanted to acknowledge that maybe it's something with the name Sandra. I don't know.
Maybe Queen Sandra. I made it to final in Reelfoot too. So I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could win double, like I was like that.
Like, doesn't that make you panic that anytime you go into a game, that anyone who knows who you are, you're going to be like a target? You're going to be a very quick target?
Yeah, I mean, I worried anyways, because I'm older and we tend to go first. And then once I won Survive, like, I don't know, I definitely get lucky with the tribes. I feel like I haven't, because it's a lot of luck too, like if your tribe's winning or losing. But yeah, I definitely feel like I have a tag. And in fact, I intentionally only applied for one game this year, because it's like I just feel like I played so many that you kind of have to take a break and get your name out of the picture for a while, and then I'll be back.
Let the heat cool off for a little bit and make your return. But now, so if this was your second game, how many have you played since this game?
I played Survivor Angelica, and so that was like the third time was the charm, and I definitely like learned from each. I learned from Outlast. I learned from this Surviving Maine.
And that was going to be my question.
Yeah.
I wanted to know what you took from this experience in Surviving Maine where you were kind of green and then you went on to greatness in this community. So what did you take from your experience here and apply to later games?
Um, try and not talk so much. But no, just like try not to be so comfortable. Like know that you have to work with everyone. Try and make the moves, but have it so like other people think that they're making the moves, but like don't just have such a upfront voice in the decisions. I think that's huge. And I also know you have to make alliances early. That was my mistake in Outlast. Like it was my first game. I waited because I didn't want to come out strong. But that's one of the things in Surviving Maine that really worked for me was I made alliances fast, like right in, as soon as we started walking to camp. And I think that's important.
Has each game has your number your number one uh has it always been like an athletic dude?
Well, no, because Angelica Jordan was also a number one. I had two number ones. But Jared was my ride or die, for sure. And I try and go, it doesn't have to be a dude, just someone athletic. Like I knew Jordan was, would be a challenge beast. Like, so to me, I take it in two, you have pre-merge and post-merge. You need to get to merge. And pre-merge, you need to win challenges. So you need to have those challenge beats, whether it be good at puzzles, good at, strength or whatever. So I like to align with a strong competitor to kind of get me to merge. And then I can like kind of nobody really targets me because I'm not going to win immunity. I 5 games and I've never won immunity. So you don't need individual immunity. You need a social game and a strategic game. So yeah, that's mine.
So going forward, now you can let's say you do another game next year after things cool off. What will your approach? Well, maybe you shouldn't talk about that because
Yeah, I don't
it's
want to give out my
fragile.
secret.
Yeah, never mind. Cut that. Taylor, you have anything?
Uh, uh, I'm all discombobulated now. I wanted to know like about how you felt in this game in Maine. Like, um, your number one was Zach, I feel like, and then you were kind of with Adam, who was probably like your number two, and then kind of turned into your number one. But if
Yeah.
you had made the merge, and that was such a epic challenge where you almost did.
Oh my gosh, I know. I was so close.
If you had made the merge, what do you think you would have done, knowing that we have seen episode 9 now, and we know where Zach is going and where Adam is going, and they might be going in two different places? What do you think? Do you think would you have been the glue? Like, what do you think would have happened there?
Seeing that like the conversation with Zach and Allison, it kind of seemed like they were bonding as well on the SWAT tribe. So I definitely would have stayed with Zach. And knowing that, like, I mean, nobody knew it at the time during the game, Adam having his friends. Like, I don't know how that dynamic would have worked. But I definitely would have stayed with Zach because he was my
He was
number
your
one
real,
from the
yeah.
get-go.
He was your number one. Okay, and then you already knew Allison, so that makes sense. And then I think we would have had the same conclusion for episode 9, except maybe Zach wouldn't have had to play his idol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen episode 9 yet.
Well, that's you're gonna have a lot of fun watching it, I think. Except for, don't cry when you lose the challenge.
Oh, that was so close. I mean,
Oh, I did have a question because when Lauren wins,
Yeah.
You go up and you're hugging her. Everyone's hugging her. She's like weeping, and you are in game mode still. And you're in her ear, like, trust Adam. You have to trust Adam. Why were you still playing like that? Tell me what was going on in your head at that time.
Well, Lauren was having such a breakdown. Like before that challenge, she was quitting. Like, I think I don't know, it might have been all of us, but I know I was in her end not to quit. Like, she was dropping out. She didn't want to be stuck in the woods with the ticks and everything. We were like picking like 10 ticks off of each other at a time. Um, and she was full anxiety mode, crying, hysterical. And she was gonna not out. And I was like, don't do it. So like when she won, I mean, I was truly happy for her. I would have rather it have been me, but I was happy for her. And I just I think I if I can remember, because my memory sucks, but um me and Adam worked so tightly together. And I just wanted to make sure she knew she had an ally. Because I know she felt betrayed by Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wanted her to know that she can trust Adam.
That's actually really nice of you to do that, because she didn't trust Zach and she shouldn't have ever trusted Zach.
Mm.
But yeah, because she's going in there with no one. So
No.
to say, like, to give her that, like I don't know, stick, whatever.
Yeah, olive branch or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's what's great about Sandra is that, she's a very, I'm talking about you like you're not here, but she's very well aware of herself. She's very well aware of, you know, how she's coming across, and she knows that it's a game. He knows it's a game, and her humility never leaves during the game. She's
Thank you.
always just very, her heart is always in it, in the right place. But you play hard. And
Yeah.
I didn't know you when this game, was going on. I had just met you. And, I don't want to say I counted you out, but I thought you were going to be like one of the first out. And I don't mean any disrespect
Oh,
by
I don't
that.
take any. No.
I just, because of what you said, it's the stereotype of
Older
the
woman.
older people going out
Older.
first.
Hmm.
So, just watching and you survived and you survived and you survived, and I was impressed. I love being proven wrong. I
Yeah.
really do. And you absolutely did that. And then you just all these other games coming up. All right, so back to our game.
Back
So
to Maine.
back to Maine. All right. So I'm trying to think of where we can go within Maine here. Sleeping conditions compared to other games. What was that? What was camp life like for you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was so thankful we got sleeping bags because Maine is friggin' cold at night. And I just remember freezing our asses off the first night. I think we all were in our sleeping bags with them zipped all the way shut with like just a little breathing hole. It was cold. But I've done that without last, we didn't have shelter either. You just slept on the ground with, a top maybe. Um, Luckily it didn't rain. I actually, except for Railfoot, it poured. But yeah, I've been lucky with the no rain during my games. So knock on wood, it lasts that way. But it was cold, but it was hot during the day and then cold at night. So you just have to make sure you prepare. If you can bring a sleeping bag, bring a sleeping bag. And I sprayed everything like with that tick stuff, the bug and tick stuff, like not just regular off. It has something else in it or
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever. But
I think it's a little plutonium.
oh, yeah,
Get them like this.
yeah. Honestly, I never, except for when we were shoved in the woods for that time for the battle back, I had no bug bites. And even with all the games I've played, I use that every time, and I'm the only person that comes away with no bites.
Nice.
I forgot all of yours. I forgot every single one of your
Yeah.
bug bites.
He didn't use that good stuff.
Nope. He thought he can beat it. Can't beat the ticks out there. But,
Yeah. And I
no
also
good.
heard that Sebago had the best camp. I only saw Moosehead's camp when we swapped, which is kind of cool. But we also had like the best camp because it was like under the trees, so it kind of shaded us and stuff. So
So now you're watching these episodes back, and who out of the people that you didn't get to play with, that you weren't on a tribe with, that you weren't swapped with, or anything like that, who do you regret not getting a chance to play with in this game?
Dave, I'd really like to play with Dave. I've seen him play a bunch of games. He's not as old as me, but he is an older person as well. Which is probably why they kind of split us up because I feel like when you're on, they never put two older players on the same tribe. Um, believe it or not, I've yet to play with Allison. Because
Right.
we were, yeah, like we played two games together, and which is funny because like TJ like throughout all they played out last, but we didn't actually play because I was at Exile when she got swapped, and then we went right to vote, and I was told to vote for her. Like so, I never really played with her or talked to her, and I didn't get to this game, so that kind of sucked. Um, I can't even remember who was. I would have liked to have Callie. I would have liked. I don't even think I got to speak to her at all. So I would have liked to have gotten to know her. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know.
Generally
Like I
speaking,
want to meet everybody.
as far as casts go, um, the, what was your impression of playing with this cast versus like other casts? Did it seem like this was a cast of people sort of feeling their way through, as opposed to other games where you played where there might have been a lot more sharks in the game?
This game did seem like there were a lot of newbies, which is always good. The only problem with the newbies is they always think, oh, she played a game or whatever, and you need to get her out because she played. But one game does not constitute, oh, she's a great player because you kind of, and honestly, you should keep around that person that's played because they may know something that you're still learning. So they can be quite, this is for future people, might want to keep me around. Um, but I forgot the question. Oh, but it's nice to have people that you haven't seen play and that, you know, haven't played with before, that they don't know you, they're not all over like the LRG world. So I like that. I like when you have players. I had that in Angelica too. Like I knew nobody going in there. Like there wasn't anybody. And I like that because it's a whole new game.
Got to give a shout out to Cernus and his crew. I love those people. I think that what they do is incredible. Same
Mhm.
with Can You Survive? The charity angle.
Yes,
It's just so it's so important, and it's just the fact that this community is very supportive and very loving, and it's a great thing to be a part of in this
absolutely.
dumpster fire of a world that we're in. I should write children's books, I hear. But yeah, Sandra, what's coming up for you? Do we know? Can we talk about it?
Um, well, I'm just helping on prod. I don't know if I'm supposed to, I don't know. Do I say that? Well, I
I
don't know. By the
think
time
what,
this comes out, I'll already
yeah,
be there. So I'm helping out with prod with Outlast.
yeah.
I didn't apply for any other games this year because I didn't 8 days on Railfoot, I figured would have been at the time I didn't know how long I was gonna last, but I'm like, that's a long time. So
Hopefully, you'll
I don't know.
apply to
This
Survivor Brooklyn South when we decide to do our multi-day game, when we finally
Yeah,
get our
well,
shit
I
together.
believe you put yeah, that one, I think before that was said, oh, not one this year. I think I applied and then you're like, oh, not doing it. So I'm like, okay. Um, and there is one that I applied for that's coming up, a 1 day game. But I don't want to say what it is because
That's fine. I would love to do a multi-day game. It's just if I don't feel it's 100% right and I don't have a place that I'm excited about, I'm not going to rush anything because
Right.
when that happens, when I do my multi-day game, it's going to be one for the books, and I really want Sandra to
I will
attend.
be there. I will try and be there if you accept my application. Um,
Listen, if you I don't know how you feel about Brooklyn being from Boston. I don't know, you're going to see a lot of Yankee hats. I don't know if that's going to be something that you're going to be okay with, but I'll warn the neighbors that you're going to be around.
that's right. I won't wear my Yankees suck shirt or anything, but
Oh, you should though.
I'll lend you
It's
mine. I'll
true.
lend you mine if you forget it.
Are you a Mets fan, George?
I am a
Hate
fan of
baseball.
Survivor.
Not a sports guy.
That's the extent of my sports
Yeah.
interest. In fact, I am so not a sports fan that I was in a national commercial with a New York Knick for 6 hours, Jalen Brunson for March Madness, and I had no idea who he was. Talking to him like he was like, just a regular actor that's hired for the day.
that happens to
I
be
had no
like
idea.
7 feet tall, probably.
He's not even, so that even threw me off even more.
Wow.
So it was, he was the star of the March Madness commercial. We're getting off track, but I am just, yeah, it's, yeah. So let's get back to reality here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sandra, as far as Surviving Maine goes, we just have a few minutes left with you. What's your, I mean, what's your biggest regret and
Mhm.
what's your favorite moment?
My biggest regret is not playing my friggin' idol. Like that is like I will never let that happen again. Thankfully, Angelica had two, so that helped. But yeah, you watch Survivors, on CBS, and those people that get voted out with an idol, and you're like, are you freaking stupid? Like, what are you doing? And then that just comes to, with the feeling comfortable. Don't ever feel comfortable. And I had it, and Liza kind of hesitated when she started the votes, and she was like, she started like she opened the urn, and she was like, "Oh, wait a minute." And when she said that, I'm like, did she say that because she wants to read them in a different order? Like that's the first thing that came to my head, and I was
Ah,
like, "Oh, I should play my idol," and I was going to, and then I'm like, "Oh, it's probably too late," so I didn't.
No.
I wasn't sure because she had opened the urn, so I was like, "Oh," and then yeah, so that's definitely my biggest regret.
Oh no.
And my biggest
what about?
mistake is voting out Madison as well. I
Yeah.
think that was a mistake.
Good,
Um,
good. I'm glad you know that.
yeah, oh my God, I know that. I freaking Adam, and he was like, if I wear my buff on my head, we vote Madison. If I have it around my
Oh God.
Yeah.
we vote TJ. And then of course we get to tribal, and I'm like, oh my God, which is which? Like I couldn't even
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna screw it up.
Sandra,
Um,
have you applied to actual Survivor?
Oh, many times. Yeah. But
Mm.
I need
Okay.
help with my video because I don't know how to like insert stills and stuff. I don't know how to do videos.
I
Yeah,
personally
I'll
don't
do it
do
for you.
that,
Yeah.
but
I heard that if you just talk to the camera, tell your story in 2 minutes, that's
Yeah.
what's gonna get, and just be you. I don't think you need to put that stuff in. If you want to, send me whatever you have, and I'll do it for you. But I think the best way that I've heard from people who have gotten really far in the process is just talking to the camera and making a connection and telling a good story about
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
yeah, and don't bring up LRGs. They don't give a shit.
Right. They
Oh, they
that's
don't?
they don't. Yeah. A
Ah,
producer told someone that who played Surviving Maine, and that person made it really far in the process, met with Jeff Probst and didn't get on. So, but they told her, like, don't bring up LRGs. None of us care about that. That's literally what she said. Yeah.
oh, that's a
This
good
is our
point
world.
there because I was like, oh, I was going to bring up real, I want
Yeah.
Angelica and real foot, and that's good to know. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Taylor, one of the other question I think I kind of rambled on about, well, you asked me my biggest regret, and then
Your
Oh, you
favorite
said the
moment.
regret, but your favorite moment we didn't get. Sorry, what
um
was that?
well, my favorite moment, honestly, like I feel like anytime I do well in a challenge, like that's like my favorite moment. Like the fact that like I hit a disc with a BB gun. Like I did that. Like my first shot, my disc broke, and you didn't even have that in the freaking thing. I'm like, shouldn't even show it.
I'll send you the raw footage so you can have it forever.
I was like, did I hit it? Did I hit it? But I just love the people. Like, I don't know, to say like I have a favorite moment, I just love being around it and they're all like 20 years younger than me, but
Yeah.
that shows you how mature I am. Like I'm like 20 years.
Same girl, same. Yeah.
I like
Same.
have more fun with the
Sandra,
youngins.
Yeah.
you're universally loved and revered, and I think that these are you found your people, I think, is
Yeah.
what it really comes down to. And I cannot wait to see what you do next because I think we need two crowns for two Sandras. I think we
Yes.
need another two crown Sandra.
Double double.
That would be awesome if I win.
But you are
I'm
great. I really love that you gave us your time and to talk about your boot episode. You went out so gracefully and wonderfully,
yeah.
and you gave it your all, and that's all that any LRG producers can ask for. And you're totally respectful to uh, production and a dream. So any casting people out there, Sandra's your person. Trust me.
Thank you. That means a lot. It
Fantastic.
really does mean a lot because you know, you want to make good TV, but you also want to be respectful in the process. And so,
Authentic, and
yeah,
that's what you want. You're authentic. So
thank you.
Whole
good on you.
package.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Quadruple threat.
I had an awesome time. Surviving Maine was awesome. I would do it again if they had another season. Like it really was a great production. Great. The challenges were great. Liza, at the whole production team, everyone was great. I had a lot of fun.
Except for when I screamed it. You're right, Sandra. Oh, that time.
Did you scream at me? I don't think so. Liza yelled at me a couple times.
Yeah, I'm sure, I
To
bet.
shut up.
That would have been me too. I would have yelled at you if I was out there. So I'm glad I wasn't.
I was too busy, you know, pulling the three hairs I have left on my head out of my head during that production. All right. It has been wonderful. I can't believe we're at the end.
I know.
Sandra, thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thanks
guys
so
so
much.
much. You guys put on a great episodes, Taylor. You're doing an
Thank you.
awesome job. I look forward to watching them every week.
Yay. Thank you, Sandra.
All right.
Bye.
See you again, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.